Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Impactful Salon Owners Podcast. I'm your hostess, Jacquelyn Rodriguez, and today I have the CEO of America's Beauty Show, Frank, with us. And thank you so much for being here, and I'm really excited for our conversation.
Jacquelyn, I'm so excited too. I just want to thank you on behalf of our board of directors at Cosmetologist Chicago and America's Beauty Show. We so appreciate this opportunity and all the good work that you're doing.
Thank you. I was really excited to have you on because you do so much great in the industry and you're such a big part of the industry. So tell us a little bit more about what the America Beauty Show is and like the background of it for those of us who may not know.
Well, this will be our 103rd year for America's Beauty Show. So yeah, it's incredible. Cosmetologist Chicago, just to take you back a little bit, was founded in 1912. So for 123 years, Cosmetologist Chicago is a nonprofit association dedicated to serving all licensed beauty professionals in the United States. And America's Beauty Show is just one facet of Cosmetologist Chicago. And we've been producing this event. This will be our 103rd year coming up here in April. And we're so excited about it. It's just, you haven't been to the show. If you haven't been to the show, it is just a treasure in the professional beauty industry. It's just a unique experience. I'm biased, obviously, for America's Beauty Show, but I've been in the industry for, I hate to say it, but over 35 years here now. And I've attended a lot of different events, and there are so many great events in our industry. We're so fortunate. What's unique about America's Beauty Show is that it is a nonprofit event. And in addition to being the largest nonprofit event in North America, it really has a feel that's really for the licensed beauty professional. So everything that we do, everything our board does, everything our team does, it's for others. And it's really a service-based experience. So people that go, like me and others, they'll tell you that it has a unique feel to it. It's a cultural thing, and we're just so happy to do it.
Love that. And, it's such an important thing when you talk about like giving back and being a part of this industry. Like that's what service-based people are, giving and caring. And to be able to go to a show like that is so incredibly important because it is such a big thing in our culture to be able to get education and to be a part of a community that truly cares about the industry and what's happening in our industry. So I would love to hear some insights, especially since you've had 103 shows coming up. What do you see in the industry? Like what's trending now? What's important to our industry right now?
Well, I'll just give you one line that we use, and I want to credit our VP of Marketing, Megan Goggin, for it. And she really just captured this. To us, America's Beauty Show, community is everything. It really is. And when we think about our community, it's the licensed beauty professional, it's our manufacturers, it's our distributors, it's our entire beauty community. And when we look at what's really, really important to all of them, it's really the strength of relationships. It's about how we serve each other. And I'll just take it on a bigger scale. It's how we do it responsibly. And I think clean beauty, green beauty are two topics that are coming up in all channels of distribution, all channels of service, because, it's about creating sustainable service and to not only to each other, but also to our clients. So that's just something that's consistent across all aspects of the community within the professional beauty space.
Yeah, and community and relationship building, we've literally built the entire industry on that. Like if we don't have community or build relationships, we don't have an industry at all. And I love what you said about the sustainability part, because we are hearing more and more that clients are demanding it, stylists are demanding it of their salon owners, salon owners are starting to demand it on the bigger scale of brands to have more opportunity, to have more options where we can actually bring in that healthier, wellness-based just business practice. And when we look at that, how are shows participating? Like how is that rolling out in the show industry?
Back in 2024, which is just 2 years ago, we introduced the Health and Wellness Pavilion at America's Beauty Show. And we partnered with a Chicago-based family-owned business, Fruitful Yield. And we now have a pavilion at our show that has over 40 brands that are all focused on the health and wellness of cosmetologists and all beauty professionals. And we're really excited about that because that is just one step that we've taken to support a sustainable business model for everyone. So really looking at the individual's health and wellness and the products that they're using on their clients, but also they're experiencing too. I mean, think about a cosmetologist or hairdresser, barber, esthetician. They are working with chemicals all day. So, when we start to think about clean beauty and we start to think about ingredients, we have to be thinking about the professional themselves and what they experience day in and day out when using these products. So, clean beauty and sustainability and being conscious used to be things that were quote unquote fashionable maybe 10 or 15 years ago, but it's not an option. It is a requirement for the health and wellness of everyone, the client and the professional. So that's what we're seeing. That's what we're advocating. That's what we're supporting. We're looking for brands that, are advocates for clean beauty. I recently just got back from a trip. I was in South Korea for a week. I met with the Professional Beauty Association in Korea. I met with several K-beauty brands. I met with, suppliers of those brands. And, the whole talk and the discussion was around clean ingredients, sustainable practices, and how we can bring that more effectively to the United States. And we're going to continue to foster that relationship with K-beauty brands as well as with other brands that are really advocating for clean beauty and sustainable beauty.
I love that. And to me, that isn't so important because there was a little blurb in my book of my experience with shows being a new stylist. I've been in the industry 26 years. And I didn't know anything about clean or sustainable beauty then. But as I started to bring more and more of that into my salon that I've had open 14 years now, I would go to shows and I asked, how can I find cleaner beauty? How can I start to look at ingredients? Or what happens to this plastic bottle after I go throw it away? What happens with all of these? And when I started, I got met with a lot of crazy looks. It wasn't something people talked about. So to me, I had a hard time finding shows that I could actually go and feel that community that understood, not just the styling part of me wanting to, do color and cuts and all of that, but more so the responsibility, the ethos of what was important to me. So I am so excited that there is shows that are starting to focus more on that and bring that type of community to the industry at a grander scale, because we're doing it on Zoom. I do lots of Zoom stuff, but in person, it's a lot harder.
Jacquelyn, I think you were ahead of your time. If you look at the stylists, the Generation Z stylists and Generation Alpha, which are not stylists yet, the younger consumer, both of those segments are so focused on ingredients. And you just have to do 5 minutes of research about what they're looking for in brands. And clean beauty is a requirement. And looking for brands that are committed to sustainability. Those two qualities, again, to, maybe 15 years back used to be optional. It is not optional anymore. It is a requirement. And we're seeing it more and more. The customers demanding it, the clients demanding it, and the professionals are demanding it. And as these younger folks come up through the ranks, it is just going to be required. And fortunately for us, we have the good fortune of working with a lot of great brands that are totally focused on this. And we have the good fortune of working with, thousands of licensed beauty professionals that share their thoughts with us and share their passion with us. And as a nonprofit, we're here to serve. So we're able to respond and provide them with these types of brands and products that they're looking for.
That's fantastic. So we see the demand coming. And when we're looking at salon owners, because I teach a lot of salon owners, because my belief is the middle of the two, right? You have the stylists who want certain things. You have the client who wants certain things. But then to finish off that triangle, you have the brands that are going to be able to provide all of that. They're in that middle between the clients and the stylists. I really see salon owners being the leader of this change, because we are making a lot of the decisions inside the salon. We're deciding what products we bring in, what type of services we're going to bring in, what our client sees, what our stylist sees. I really believe that we have a big responsibility to start making some of these changes so that the younger stylists have a place to go that aligns with their ethos. The clients have a place to go that also aligns with their ethos, and they're starting to make that bigger impact in the community. What are you seeing in the shows really regarding the salon owners?
Well, I think the salon owners are very much in tune. One of our, again, we're a nonprofit, so we have a volunteer board. One of our board members, Larry Kane, is closely aligned with Green Circle, and he has done a lot of work with other salon owners in sharing the good news as far as, what can be done for sustainability. We work with them with our show as well. And it's a concerted effort. Again, I'll just say, I just look at the leadership that Larry's showing, that he is getting a positive response from many salon owners that understand their role and their social responsibility to making sure that their business operation not only serves their community, but also serves the environment as well. So I am excited about it. I see nothing but strength in the campaign. And I think it's, again, I'll go back and say it. It's not optional. It really is the way of the future.
I agree. And big shout out to Larry and to the Green Circle Salon, Green Circle Salon, Green Salon, all these green places. Yes, Green Beauty Community, the one that I'm a co-founder of. I should know the name, but it's been a long day, so I get tongue-tied. But big shout out to them, because we are leading a lot of the advocacy around that. So with all of that being said, we see lots of things happening. What do you see as the big gap of where we're at right now and kind of where we need to be?
I think there's a couple gaps. One is I think there's a gap of skepticism, which, I think we just, it's the elephant in the room, which is, where does this stuff go? And is it really going somewhere differently than to the, local dump or wherever garbage or things are disposed of? So, is there a sense of confidence in that, when things are recycled, and I'm talking in general, when things are recycled, is it really properly being handled? So I think the more education that can be done on that, I think will just do nothing but create more clarity for everyone that's involved. And I think it'll inspire people to really, really take the extra steps that need to be taken in order to properly dispose of, wasteful product or what have you. So I think that's one gap. I think that the second gap are success stories. All of us like to do things that work or are successful. I mean, especially as business owners, where our time is so precious and we're constantly being torn in many different directions. I think the confidence of knowing that, hey, this company or this example succeeded in doing something in a very sustainable way that was profitable for the business long term. And this is how they did it. I think sharing those success stories will give more confidence to other business owners to say, I need to be doing these practices as well, because if that company can do it, I know that we can do it, and maybe we can do it even better. So I think those are two gaps.
I couldn't agree more. I do think that there is a lot of skepticism around where things are going, and the more that we can be transparent and honest, because there is still, I see a lot of gaps that haven't been solved, right? That we don't know what to do with. There's a lot of companies out there trying their best to do that, but this is relatively still new, innovative ways of doing business. So being open and honest and transparent with what is happening, where we need to be, and how we're getting to those steps, which I think is a really big thing that a lot of companies I'm seeing more of, transparency, but a lot of them still, there's not a whole lot of transparency, and it's slapping a sticker on saying clean or sustainable. And that's where we're getting some pushback as well. So I couldn't agree more with you.
Yeah, and going back to the younger consumer or the younger client that's coming through the salon, they're doing their research. Like the customer knows or the client knows. So if you're going to really position yourself as a clean brand or as a sustainable brand, you need to walk the talk, because the client will call you out if you're not. And how they call you out is they may not buy your product, or worse yet, they may go on social and share the gaps that might exist in what you're doing. So you need to transparency starts internally, and that you're consistent with your word, because I guarantee you these younger clients are so savvy, and they're doing their research online, and they want to be a part of brands that are aligned with their values, and clean beauty and sustainability are aligned with the younger generation.
For sure. And they are doing their research. And the biggest thing that I teach my students in my academy, they're coming in because we're looking at, the aspect of the brands that are making the products, but we're also looking at the brands that have the salons who are bringing clients and stylists in and telling them, what their ethos is. The biggest mistake I see people is waiting until they're perfect. We know nothing's perfect. You'll never get started. You'll never be able to actually have that type of ethos if you don't get started and be in that messy middle. It's okay. The biggest thing that I did in my salon was in the messy middle, and I was transparent about it. I told my clients exactly where we're at, what I wanted to do, but was going to take a little more time, because even now, 14 years later, there's a lot of things I still want to do that I haven't been able to implement. But I tell my clients, I tell my staff, my stylists with me, like, this is where we're at and this is where we're going, and always being open and honest, because in the beauty industry, there is no 100% clean or organic or, non-toxic. We still have things in the industry that we just can't get rid of. So being open and honest about that. And then about where the things are going that we are recycling or upcycling and things like that is just really, really important to be open and honest, and don't wait on it. Jump in now.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And the thing that I think we all have to be very conscious of is that we have to be kind to ourselves. And what I mean by that is it's a journey. It's not a destination. So sustainability, clean beauty, as you talked about, where each company is in a different phase, but it's a journey that we're all going down. And I think that, at least based on what I've seen, clients as well as suppliers and people that are involved in the supply chain are much more tolerant, to your point, as long as you're open and honest about where you're at in your journey. But the key as you stated earlier, is you have to start that journey. And we're all at some different point in our journey of sustainability. And I think as long as our intention is there and our actions are there in good faith, so that we're approaching, a more sustainable workforce and a more sustainable work environment, I think we can all respect and appreciate each other for that.
Exactly. And I love what you said about be gentle on yourself, because there was a point in my transition from regular products and regular business model into that transition of clean and sustainable, where it was hard. I was ahead of the game. No one was talking about it, and it was rough to find that community, but it was hard. And there was multiple points in my journey where sometimes I was like, I wish I could just kind of go back, just unlearn everything that I had learned, because there's still things that we have to do differently. And the way that we process things and the way that we look at things can be difficult and not the easy pill route, right? Everybody wants a quick fix and an easy pill out. And when we're looking at clean and sustainable, it's more back to the basics. And it's more of like unlearning all the toxic behavior that we've had in order to make it easy and quick, and get back to the basics of like what can work, that we can make easier, but not quick.
There's a saying that I think it's just a framework that I just keep seeing more and more, which is what was basic is now a luxury. And when we think about, clean beauty, meaning the ingredients, these natural remedies or formulations are really the luxury of today. Chemical free. When you think about how we deal with the environment and how we think about things from an organic level, those were basics, 10, 20 years ago, which now are a luxury. So, I would just encourage, all salon owners, all beauty professionals to just be like thinking with a very simple construct like that. What's basic is a luxury, because the consumer, the client, wants basic. They want things that are clean. They want things that they can understand what's in their product and what they're putting on their skin or on their scalp that, allows them to understand, their health and how it's going to impact them.
Yeah, it is. It's so interesting that the most basic ingredients are coming back around, and they're luxurious and they're high end. And that says in so much, because nature and the basics, you really look at nature and it doesn't get it wrong. It may take a little longer. It may not be perfect, but the end result is beautiful.
I'm looking out my window right here, and I'm looking at I'm working from home today. I have to watch my dog. So I'm looking out my window and I'm looking at the most beautiful scene there is. And what is it? It's nature.
But I think it's such an important piece of the puzzle. And I'm really happy to hear that you're seeing the same thing, because you do. You have thousands upon thousands of stylists and salon owners, and you get the feedback and you see that this is becoming more and more increasingly important for us to dive into, to really make a priority. And with that, like the future of business, what do you think you see in the beauty industry, let's say 10 years from now?
10 years from now, here's the great thing. When we think about the beauty industry, it has existed since the beginning of time. It's survived world plagues. It's survived world wars. It's survived COVID. It's survived the Depression. Go on right on down the line. The beauty industry has existed forever, and it will exist forever. So some things will never change, which is, our own ambition to be the best version of ourselves. So that's the beauty of the beauty business, is it'll always exist. What will change? I think, technology, I mean, it would be ignorant to not think that technology isn't going to continue to change, the beauty industry. I can see clearly AI impacting the consultation. When you think about the upcoming generations, Gen Z and Alpha generation, these are generations that were born into technology. This wasn't a transition. They were born with a mobile device. So their mode of reference is going to continue to be their mobile device. And what we're seeing with companies like Perfect Corp, who are doing, using the camera on the phone to do skin consultations, it's going that type of interaction with augmented reality and artificial intelligence to advise the client on, what's best for them. That's going to continue. That will be a change that I see happening, in the next 5 to 10 years. The relationship. Oh yeah. The relationship that the stylist has with their client. I mean, other than the dynamics of the consultation, like that component of it, I don't see that changing because it's a very personal thing. I mean, when you think about our industry, when you think about what's really the beauty of the beauty industry, it's the relationship that exists between that professional and their client. That client is trusting another person to help them be the best version of themselves. And that is a very intimate relationship that will never go out of style, will never change. I personally, I might be wrong and won't be the first time, but, I don't see robots cutting people's hair or any of that stuff that every once in a while you'll see that on Instagram or what have you. I don't see that. But I do see information moving more towards the client and that consultation. And so that's the change that I see. And you know what? As professionals, we can celebrate in that. That's not a threat to us. In fact, that is only going to strengthen and give credibility to the salon professional that they're the ones that can make that happen. Having a vision is one thing. Being able to execute it is another thing. And execution is generally where things fail. And that's where we come in as beauty professionals because we're the ones that can make it happen. So I think it's a beautiful thing. And like I said, the industry has existed since the beginning of time. And I see it always being a thriving career.
I couldn't agree more. I think same thing with AI. I personally, as a business owner, I use AI. It has actually made me more efficient. It has made my job easier. It's not going to take over me. It can never take over what's in here and what's in here in your heart because AI is not going to have that type of heart. And it can't give that type of relationship and community that we as people can. And you already are starting to see it more and more where people want that relationship. They want to come in and talk to people, even in the beauty industry. I mean, I'm one where I love Zoom. I get to connect with people that I wouldn't otherwise have a chance to connect with on a regular basis. And there's nothing in Zoom, with AI or technology that will replace the feeling of coming to an in-person education, show, event, whatever, and creating those actual relationships. I think it's actually going to help steer us more back to relationship building, and using AI for what it should be is just to make our lives easier.
I just want to build on that, is that I go back to the framework. What's basic is now a luxury. And personal relationships, not digital relationships, not parasocial relationships with an influencer, but an actual, relationship between two people. That's basic, but that's a luxury now. And And as we look at the show industry, like for our show, we've been around 103 years. And, when COVID hit, there were a lot of doubters saying, oh, trade shows are over. It's, nobody's going to get in person again. Everything's going to be on Zoom. And sure, there's a role for that. I mean, there's no question. I mean, I'm on Zoom many times a day. I listen to podcasts like everybody else. So consuming digital media, there's a role for it. But I can tell you this, is that over the last 3 years, post-COVID, we've had our 3 largest beauty shows in the history of our event. And why is that? Well, people come together. And when good people come together, great things happen. And that experience that we all get from the energy of being around other people that are like-minded and enthusiastic, that's something that cannot be replicated in a digital environment. I mean, 2 people sitting together and you sit down and you talk or you experience something together, there's an energy there that is beautiful. And, so I just keep coming back to that framework. What's basic is now a luxury. And we think that in-person events, in-person education, events like America's Beauty Show are just little treasures and gifts for all of us. And by coming together, it's something that we can all experience. And that's unique.
For sure. I love that it keeps coming back to basics, which should be very encouraging to anyone listening, because the basics can be a lot easier than trying to, do everything outside of that basic, just heartfelt framework, heartfelt connection, relationship, caring. And that's what our entire beauty industry is built on. So getting back to that, your clients are going to feel it. Your stylists are going to feel it if you create that in your salon. And the more and more we can start to bring that back together and create a very unique mission within each of our ethos and our businesses, the more that we're going to just keep going.
Jacquelyn, if you want to talk about sustainability, that's sustainability. Our industry is really a reciprocal business. You get back what you give. So if you give love and you give care and you give commitment, you're rewarded with your clients giving back care and commitment to you as a stylist and as a professional. And when you think about that, if we really want to create sustainability beyond the environment, but sustainability for our industry, it really starts with each and every one of us just doing what we love, which is caring about another and serving another. And when we serve others, they serve us right back with continued, patronage. And that to me is what makes our industry probably the most sustainable industry that's out there. And it's probably why it's existed and why it's been, sustained through all these different world events. And, looking forward, our future's bright, and it's just, it's a great thing. So, I'm always enthusiastic about the beauty industry. And if I wasn't, I wouldn't have been in the industry for 35 years, so it's a beautiful thing. And and again, back to this podcast or, the interview here, and about sustainability. I think sustainability can be defined so many ways in our industry, including relationships.
Yes. And that's why it's not, I really hone in on, it's not just getting another product that is clean ingredients or recycling your bottles. It is clean, sustainable, and holistic as a whole business practice. There's so many different facets. And what I teach in the academy is bringing in each pieces of those, because you have to know, as a beauty, professional, you have to have a brand that works. You have to do something with, the products that you're finishing, right? So those are the basics. But then after that, how do you bring that ethos into everything else that you do, in every system, in every thought process, in everything that you say, in the way that you educate, the way that you bring joy to your clients and to your staff and to your stylists and your team? All of that becomes the clean, sustainable, and holistic business practices. And that's why it can't just be taking a brand, putting it in your salon and saying, I'm a clean, sustainable salon. Yes, and where are we going from there?
Yes, and that's a beautiful framework.
Yeah, love that. And I love that that's what's playing out in the industry, and that there's shows that we can go to and be a part of that. So I can't wait to learn more, and I'm sure everybody else can't wait to learn more. Where can we, when's the next show? Where is it? Tell us all the good details.
Oh, all the great details. So we're launching our show actually Monday, October 6th. We're having a press conference, and folks, if you want to go online and learn more about America's Beauty Show, just go to our website. We'll be broadcasting the press conference. It starts at 5:30 Central Time, here in the U.S. And we'll be broadcasting that globally. So, what can you expect? The dates for the show are April 18, 19, and 20, 26 in Rosemont, Illinois, which is located adjacent to O'Hare International Airport in Chicago, Illinois. And we are just so excited about it. We've got a great partnership with the Village of Rosemont. So over the period of 3 days, we have the entire village, at our disposal for America's Beauty Show. So it's a safe environment. It's a great place. You just park your car once. You don't have to touch it anymore. There's restaurants. There's the world's largest outlet mall there, as well as in addition to America's Beauty Show, world-class restaurants. And over the course of 3 days at America's Beauty Show, our attendees will experience world-class education, a community that is just filled with enthusiastic, passionate, loving people that care about others. And our whole focus is to make this an experience in which any attendee and every attendee feels as if, they're lifted, they're supported, they're not alone. We see you, we hear you, and we are here to support you. And that passion and commitment is what's fueled us for 102 years and will fuel us this 103rd year and another 100 years going forward, because we're in business for beauty professionals. For, not from, for. And that is what we're all about. So it's April 18, 19, and 20 in Rosemont, Illinois at the Donald E. Stevens Convention Center. Tickets will go on sale Monday, October 6th. And there's 4 different types of tickets. So there's a ticket for everybody. And it's just a great experience.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing all that. And as usual, if you're listening, you're driving or whatever, get somewhere safe and then get into the show notes, because all of the links will be right there, made it easy for you, so that you can get your ticket, show up there and come see me, because I'm going to be there. I am going to totally get my ticket, be there, and be a part of this, because it means the world to me. So thank you so much.
Jacquelyn, thank you so much for the opportunity. And we look forward to seeing you at America's Beauty Show. Thanks again.
So thank you so much for being on the show, for sharing all of your passion, your commitment, and your education here. All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and I will see you on the next episode.